Due to popular demand, and I do mean popular demand by 2 people, I'm going to show you guys how to make artichokes. They're not just for dip. I love these. I cut off all these pointy bits. Gotta find out where the camera is. There it is. All the little pointy sharp bits on here. First thing I do, well, I washed them already. First thing I do is cut off the pointy bits and then I steam them. So this process is real quick and easy. Don't always have this red bowl. First I pull off the little leaves that are at the bottom because basically you're not gonna eat those. You're not gonna get very much off of those. So we pull off all the little leaves at the bottom, and then the tedious work is basically taking some kitchen chairs, and I cut about just the tip off all the way around on the lower leaves and work my way up until I'm tired of cutting. And yes, the leaves do go everywhere, and they're actually petals because an artichoke is a flower. So I cut all the way around, hope that they are falling into the bowl. If not, just a little cleanup afterwards. And they make a cute little noise. Generally, I cut straight into a trash bag because it just makes cleanup a whole lot easier. But this process, I'm going to repeat on the other artichoke. Cut off all the leaves, and then it gets a little difficult when you get up into the more compact leaves. And when I wash it, I do get down in here and try and wash out any kind of dirt or debris or anything, and generally they're pretty clean. When I'm going to buy an artichoke, I like to find one that has, it looks nice and green. I like to find one that doesn't look wilted, and what I've read is that the heavier they are, the better they are. So I'll pull back the leaves a little bit, trying not to get stuck, and look down in there and make sure they look nice. And if they do, that's a good artichoke, as long as they look young, fresh, and healthy. So this is about the part right here where it gets really difficult to get down into these different petals. So what I do now is I just take a bread knife, because it does a better job of slicing. Hold it steady, and that one, except for this stem, because it won't fit in my pot, this one's ready to go. So I just set this off to the side and start on the second one, pulling off these bottom leaves that don't really have much, I don't know if you call it meat, or enough of the flower vegetables on them. And then once again, cut all the way around, starting at the bottom, making a lovely little song, hitting the bowl. And then I start working on the second and third layers. And just keep your fingers away from the sharp pointy bits, because they will dig into you and they do not feel good. When I bought them, when I first started buying them, cashiers didn't know what they were. They'd grab the bag, they'd hurt themselves. They learned quickly. Artichokes are very prickly. So everybody seems to be familiar with these now. And I enjoy the leaves the best, petals, but the heart is the part that they use to make the spinach artichoke dip. And they also sell the heart in different marinades. So again, I'm at the point where it's getting really hard to get the cooking shears in there. So just take this knife, and I found this works a lot better than using a regular knife because it cuts and grips. So 2 artichokes are ready to go into the pot. So now for the cooking process, it's very simple. I use this, I think it's called a double boiler. At the bottom is my water, and I fill that up about 3/4 of a way, then put in this top part and I steam them. All I do is place them in there, and I can usually get about 4 in there. If they're small, if they're larger, 2 or 3. Put the cover on and put this on high. The time now is 5:27:28. I never time them. What I do is I take a fork and I poke the stem, and I wait to see if the fork can go through easily. If I try to poke the stem right now, they're very hard. This, of course, is not a fork. But once they have steamed for about half an hour to 40 minutes, they'll be ready to go. We start our sauce with 1 stick of melted butter, 1 clove of garlic, and I always put this in the garlic press because if I try to chop it myself, I get some very large, unfriendly cloves, pieces of garlic in my sauce. Some lemon. I take half a lemon and juice that. It doesn't have to be the whole half lemon, and it's preferably better without the seeds. Although there are many times that we've actually had the seeds inside and it doesn't make that much of a difference. This recipe I got from somebody who was from the Mediterranean, and I kind of improvised on it after they gave me their recipe. And sometimes I save a little bit of zest and add that too, if you like it extra lemony. And then it's kind of whatever seasonings you like. So I always add all-purpose Greek seasoning. I love this stuff in just about everything, and I don't measure. I just kind of season until it looks like enough. I taste and then keep going. I've been adding turmeric to a lot of stuff because it's supposed to be very good for you. Badia Sazon Tropical. If you can find this stuff, it is amazing. And I add some of that. I think it says no MSG too. I like smoked salt, but I was out of smoked salt, so I got a meat rub, which is just smoky enough. And then I add some oregano, and I had gotten this from a friend. It's always fun to see the little oregano pieces floating around in there. This is Cajun seasoning. I get this from the International Farmers Market in Atlanta. Add about a pinch of that, and because everybody loves lemon, add some lemon pepper. Oh, I sometimes add some chicken stock. This one is a no MSG vegetarian chicken style stock, and I just add a little bit of that. Then mix it up. And the finished product normally looks a little bit like this, depending on what seasonings I've put on it, because I change the seasonings every time, depending on a whim, depending on what I'm out of. And season to taste, put your favorite seasonings in there. And then what I do to test for the saltiness, because everyone has a different salt threshold, I like salty things, I'll make sure it's good and mixed up, and then I'll drop some on my finger without all that garlic. A little more of this. And a lot of times the seasonings will drop to the bottom, so I end up, when I'm eating the artichoke, stirring up all the garlic and the seasonings from the bottom throughout the eating process. So there is your sauce, and now we're just waiting for that artichoke to steam, and we'll take a look at that in a minute. All right, time to check the artichoke. A little bit steamy, but you can get the fork in there on the top, but I usually try and poke them on the sides to see if I can get the fork to go in. When the fork goes in easily over here on the sides, it's done. So these still have quite a ways to go, and they lose some of their green color when they're cooked a little bit more. So we'll cover these back and let them steam for a little longer. The moment of truth. They've been in there for, I think, an hour now. And they're good and steamy. And when you use a fork, the fork goes in pretty easily. So what I normally do is I'll turn the fire off and I'll leave them sitting in there. I have electric, so they'll continue to receive a lot of heat from the eye as it cools off. And I will probably grab this one because this one is the one that is the most cooked. And see what that one tastes like. The moment of truth, the artichoke is ready. Yay! Happy, happy. So these, the ones closest to the bottom, generally don't have a lot of flesh to eat. And what I'll normally do is pull several off. You can see it's still steamy, and let them cool. Once you get to about this area, ooh, yummy artichoke goodness. So I'll take this, I'll stir up my butter sauce until some of that seasoning and the garlic come up to the top. Dip it, shake off the excess butter because nobody wants a lot of butter. And then you eat it this way. You scrape this part with your teeth and eat each leaf separately. Just kind of grab it and drag it across your teeth. That's what's left. And this is trash. And this is a wonderful appetizer slash meal slash comfort food slash happy place. Enjoy your artichokes, y'all. Hope you like this video.